What's up, everyone? I'm Rick Knight. Welcome back to another video here at The Bad Philosopher. So, our good friend Alexandria Ocasio Cortez once again said some more foolishness. This time she was at an event called the hashtag MLK Now. Well, obviously, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Now conference or whatever it was. I guess something celebrating Martin Luther King, obviously. And she was on stage with somebody who I'm not familiar with at all, and he asked her a question about billionaires. She said that she believes the system is immoral to allow an individual to become a billionaire, to become really wealthy. So let's see what she has to say. She made a bunch of stupid comments, and then I'll go through what she said. This is a short video. Let's get right into it.
Do you think it is moral for individuals to, for instance, do we live in a moral world that allows for billionaires? Is that a moral outcome in and of itself?
It's not. It's not. And it's not, and I think it's important to say that I don't think that necessarily means that all billionaires are immoral. It is not to say that someone like Bill Gates, for example, or Warren Buffett are immoral people. I do not believe that. But I believe
he kicks his dog.
Right.
Like
yeah. That. I'm not saying that. But I do think a system that allows billionaires to exist when there are parts of Alabama where people are still getting ringworm because they don't have access to public health is wrong. And I think it's wrong that I think that it's wrong that a vast majority of the country does not make a living wage. I think it's wrong that you can work 100 hours and not feed your kids. I think it's wrong that that corporations like Walmart and Amazon can get paid. They can get paid by the government, essentially experience a wealth transfer from the public for paying people less than a minimum wage.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's get into a few things that she said. Okay, this is just a little. I mean, at this point, we can't be shocked with some of the things she says. This is what happens when you elect someone only for two reasons. One, because she is an attractive-looking woman, and two, because she's able to check a few of the boxes and now bring diversity and inclusion and equality and all that stuff. When you use the holy trinity of social justice warriorism, this is what you get. You get somebody like her. Now, there's a few problems with some of the things she said. First of all, is it immoral, an immoral system? So they're saying if you're a billionaire, if you're like Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, you're not an immoral person. You just made a whole lot of money through an immoral system, which basically in an immoral way, right? Like when you looked at slavery, right? Was slavery an immoral practice? But the slave masters were immoral. The entire thing was immoral, right? So either it's moral or it's not moral, plain and simple, right? There is no, well, this is immoral, but we allow it anyway. But you're not the one who's immoral. You're just doing something immoral to make money, right? It's just a contradiction. This is foolish. First off, people have the absolute right to work, earn a living, and if they can earn more money than their neighbor, then, oh, well, they can earn more money than their neighbor. If my neighbor's making more money than me and he becomes a billionaire, good for him. He worked hard, he deserved it. If he's not stealing it from anyone, then why not? But then again, with a socialist like this, they believe that anyone who's successful stole from someone who's not successful. That's pretty much the philosophy that they carry. Now, as far as this ringworm in Alabama, really, that's what you're really concerned about, ringworm in Alabama. See, here's the problem. Ringworm is something that anyone can get. It's a fungus, and if you do not, I mean, it's very easy to prevent if you don't keep a place clean and dry, cool and dry, then you're risking getting ringworm. In fact, athlete's feet is a form of ringworm. So is jock itch, and that's something that anyone can get at any moment if you don't keep your feet dry and cool. In fact, the place I trained jiu-jitsu at, we're very conscious of this. We don't want ringworm because a few students, especially the younger students, did have ringworm. So we pay attention to stuff like that. You're not allowed to bring Anything on the mat, you have to be barefoot. You can't bring any shoes on the mat at all. We really don't allow anything on that mat other than your gi or the no-gi uniform that we wear. If you step off the mat, you have to have sandals to walk on. If you're going to walk on the other floors, don't walk on the floors barefoot and then get back on the mat. We don't like that. It's a no-no, right? Because we want to prevent something like that from happening, because anyone can get ringworm at any time. What she meant to say was hookworm. That is the problem that's in Alabama. You would think that this woman would have actually done a little research into what's going on in Alabama due to the black belt soil, they call it, that basically doesn't. It absorbs water, and then the water puddles up and it leaks into the freshwater system, which is the domestic water for people's homes, and then they end up bathing or drinking in, or brushing their teeth or cooking with water that's contaminated water, and there you go. There you have it. You have your hookworm. Now, she said about the ringworm that, their public health, that they don't have access to public health, which has absolutely nothing to do with a private individual who becomes a billionaire. Public health and a private individual is two different things. If they don't have access to public health, that is because your government that you work for is failing those people, failing them in Alabama. I think the easy solution to this is to reach out to people who are billionaires and ask if they wouldn't mind donating the necessary resources to fix the problem. You probably haven't done that because you're too busy trying to use force to get money from them instead of just pretty much asking them to step in and do something, right? I mean, I guess Jay-Z, he has 99 problems, but hookworm isn't one, right? Okay, so what else did she say? She also said that the vast majority of people are not earning a living wage. A vast majority of Americans are not earning a minimum wage. I just took a chance, a slight opportunity to Google that. I wanted to see what popped up. I ran through a couple of things here and there that I saw. And what I found is that the U.S. Census Bureau reported that the median salary was just under $60,000 a year per household. Right, that's the average salary, the median salary across the country, about $60,000 a year per household. That's not exactly, that's not considered a living wage. I mean, if you live here in New York City, $60,000 a year, it could be tough to get by, especially if you have kids. But most people don't live in New York City; they live in between, those flyover states that we always tend to forget about. And 60,000, if you live in Mississippi or Alabama or places like that, 60,000 a year goes a lot further than living here in Brooklyn. So she was wrong about that. Also, the U.S. Census Bureau said that in the last 4 years, statistically, by their measures, it's been increasing. So it seems like it's getting better. The next thing I would like to pull up that talk about that she said was that companies like Walmart and Amazon are getting rich. Yes, they are, and they are receiving public aid while paying their workers less than the minimum wage. This is what she said. It came out of her mouth. You can watch the video again. And there's a problem with this. Now, I do agree that corporations, we definitely need a separation of the economy and state. Just like we have a separation of church and state, we should have a separation of economy and state, and the government should stay out of the economy. The government should leave corporations alone, let them make their money, and they should also tell the corporations, you have to leave us alone, we're not helping you. We're not giving you tax breaks, we're not going to give you any money, we're not giving you corporate welfare. I agree with her 100%. This state, the United States of America, the government needs to get out of the economics business. They should not have any ties whatsoever with the market. The market should be ran by the market on its own, independently of the government. The government has no business sticking their nose into the market. So I do agree with that 100%, but here's the problem. She said that corporations like Walmart and Amazon are paying their workers less than a minimum wage. This is the problem. I seriously doubt large corporations like Walmart and Amazon are paying their employees less than the minimum wage. This is the law of the state that they're working in. There's a minimum wage, and the employer must meet at least the minimum wage. Not paying the minimum wage, paying less than that is actually a violation of the labor law, and there would be a lawsuit, and most likely a class action lawsuit if there's multiple people involved in this lawsuit. And they will lose easily. This is all, records kept. You're cutting them a check. If that check is less than minimum wage, the employee can easily go to the labor department. They can easily go to a lawyer, and they can have a lawsuit, and they will win that lawsuit, and those companies would have to pay back all of the money that they owe them, and then plus there's usually, you know, pain and suffering maybe might get added to the list. That's, you know, another story. So I seriously doubt that she was accurate in anything that she said. I mean, you can easily just think about what she's saying. It would be nice if Amazon and Walmart would fire back at her for her accusing them of paying less than a minimum wage when that's just not true. You know, I like when you listen to the crowd cheering what she has to say as if what she's saying is actually accurate. This just proves that Democrats are people of low IQ. I don't think anyone in that audience were capable of debating her on what she was saying. They were just there like mindless zombies to just clap and cheer for her. They were cheering her on as if what she was saying, you know, couldn't be disputed in any way. And here I am, a plumber, you know, slash college student, which means absolutely nothing, and a YouTube content creator who has a very extremely small channel. It's not, you know, hasn't grown yet to you know, to what I would like it to, and yet I can easily spend a couple minutes, watch her video, and then think about what she has to say, and then look online and see exactly, you know, what is she saying, what is she talking about, and obviously this woman just doesn't put much effort into thought. She goes up there and she just spouts, you know, any, you know, socialist sounding theme she can come up with. She throws it out there. You know, it's just terrible. You know, having her in office, you know, putting her there just for the simple fact that she's a woman of color, and she's, you know, she's a young woman, she's attractive, you know, and she's basically saying, you know, we're going to get them, we're going to get all of them, we're going to take their money from them, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and people, you know, people voted for that. They voted for her. They you know, I'm sure most of them voted. They don't really know why they voted for her. If you have a conversation with them, they, you know, it's probably always silly stuff like, oh, you know, she was young, I wanted to give her a chance, or, you know, something like that. Oh, you know, young Latina, you know, let's see what she can do. And it's like, it's never like policies or you know, anything. They can never articulate anything that she said that's, you know, makes any sense. I mean, this woman, later on in this video, if you watch it, I didn't really look into, I didn't post this entire video, but I did watch a lot of pieces by it. Of it. She also said that there was, we were like 12 years away from, the end of the world because of climate change. Now, I really hope she didn't mean, I didn't put that section of the video up because there's a part of me that wants to believe that she didn't actually mean that, right? That this was just, she was just being, she was exaggerating purposely, like I do all the time when I'm talking to my coworkers, and I say stupid things to them, and I'm like, listen, man, you know, you better tighten that up pretty good because you know, it's going to leak, and it's going to cause a flood, and you're going to damage all the floors below us, and it's going to flood everything out. We're going to get a lawsuit. We're all going to get fired, and I just go overboard with, you know, all over a stupid little, you know, something. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's what she was doing, and she didn't really mean that in 12 years the world's coming to an end if we don't do something about climate change. I hope. But then again, with her, you just never know with the level of nonsense that comes out of her mouth. It's just so hard to tell, you know, what she's thinking, if she's even thinking at all, or if she's serious, or if she just goes up there and wings it and says, I'll just say anything, it doesn't matter. I have my followers, my mindless followers that will just do whatever I say, and they'll just agree with me and believe whatever I say. At this point in the game, we just don't know with this woman. She's clearly not qualified for that position, and she only got that gig because it's in line with you know, with identity politics and stuff like that. Not because she knows what she's doing, not because she's particularly bright and people want, you know, they're curious to see how good she can do in that position. She only got it because she was able to check a few of the oppression boxes according to the left, and here you have it. You know, the world's coming to an end in 12 years, and you know, ringworm, you know, and somehow ringworm came back in Alabama, and you know, a vast majority of the people are making less than a living wage, and Amazon and Walmart are paying less than the minimum wage, and it's just what she's saying is just, you know, and the moron sitting next to her, he's not, you know, he's not very versed on stuff like this, and he's not a critical thinker, so he didn't bother to challenge her or ask her any tough questions. So I'm going to post the link in the description. You can watch the video for yourself, and tell me what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.